Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to another tutorial by Happy Cloud Solutions. Today, we'll be looking at how to configure GitHub Webhook for Jenkins that is hosted on a local host. So basically, webhooks are being configured on GitHub, and the purpose of this is to create more like a communication between Jenkins and GitHub so that whenever you make a commit on GitHub, the Jenkins pipeline or the Jenkins job is being triggered and then it runs on the Jenkins end. So the problem with the Jenkins that is hosted on the local host is that when you're configuring a webhook, it will require that you put a URL that is publicly accessible. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If I go to my webhooks and I click on add webhooks, okay, so I have to put HTTPS, and then if I say localhost, which is where my Jenkins server is sitting on, and then GitHub hyphen webhook, and then I'm just gonna click this add webhook. It's gonna throw an error and say that the URL is not supported because it isn't reachable over the public internet. All right. So now what we're trying to do today is to see how this Jenkins job can be triggered based on a GitHub commit. And to do this, we are going to be introducing a third party tool called Ngrok, or at least that's how I pronounce it. So, what we're going to use this for is first of all, we're going to sign up because if you do not sign up, you won't be able to use this to run your webhooks, and I'll show you how. Then we'll also need to download the zip file, extract it to our local system, go into the directory where it's been extracted to, and run a few commands. All right, so let's get to it. The first thing that we're going to do now is to sign up. Okay, so once you create your account, basically you can create this account even using GitHub. So you could ask you create a new account, use GitHub, or sign up with Google. So basically, I sign up with GitHub, and depending on what system you're using, just click here. So I'm using a Windows system, so I'll click Windows and then scroll down. You can either download it using Chocolatey or use a zip file. So for me, I'm gonna download it using this zip file. Okay. So I have downloaded this to my system, and so now it says run the following command to add your auth token to the default ngrok.yml configuration file. So what I'm going to do now is to copy this auth token, and I'm going to go to my terminal. You have to ensure that wherever you're sitting in is where the installed, or the downloaded file is. That's the directory. So I'm just going to come here and paste the command. I'm going to copy that again over here and enter. So auth token saved to configuration file. All right. So now the next thing is deploy your app online. So what I'll do is to go back to here, and then I'll run ngrok http 88. So on clicking enter, you see that a public URL has been generated that forwards traffic to localhost 8080. Something that's also very important that you should take note of is that this is a free plan. Okay. So you see this URL that says 9996. Just take note of that. If I cancel this, Control C, and I try to run that again, you see that it has generated another URL for me. So the free plan should not be used in the production environment because if you close your tunnel, then there's going to be an issue when you reload it because a different URL will be generated. All right. So now we've generated a URL to use with our webhooks, And what I'm going to do is to copy this URL just the way it is. Control C, go back to GitHub, click add webhook. Here I'll put my address and then / GitHub hyphen webhook. All right. So now that is done, I'll click on add webhook. So now this is saying that the hook was created successfully. We sent a ping payload to test it out. So what it does is it ensures or tries to like verify that it can actually connect with your Jenkins pipeline or your Jenkins environment. And when that is done, you see a green tick here that shows that everything is all right. All right. So now you can see here that there is a green tick showing that the last delivery was successful. So if you go to, let me say, this is one of my jobs, and then I trigger a GitHub commit. So immediately, like a commit is being pushed to the main branch, immediately it will trigger a build here without me having to, click build now. So that's like the benefit of using a webhook. I hope you've been able to, understand how to integrate your GitHub with your Jenkins pipeline. To learn more about using DevOps tools like Jenkins, GitHub, Maven, SonarQube, just to learn more about DevOps to kickstart your DevOps journey or to help with your project, okay? You can always reach out to us via the contact us form on our website or send us an email at info@happycloudsolutions.com or even leave a comment in this YouTube channel. We are quick with responding to comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and let's continue to keep this going. Thank you.